Good morning.
Good, happy Monday morning, like our second week of 2021.
And I feel like so out of practice. I think I've messed up every time I've tried to do the live, like between the banners and this and that. And it's like, I mean, Thursdays are live. We're sitting there starting the show, and I'm like, stop, I forgot to press live.
Right. Well, and so, now I'm trying to pull up and now I've got the background noise because I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to be doing here? So we can have the chat going. Oh my God, because we already have people chatting, which is awesome. Good morning, Sherry. I hope you had a nice walk on the beach this morning. If you did that, because it's cold with the little puppy dogs. It's actually not as cold today, I don't think, as it has been, except that my office is freezing right now. I actually turned the heat on, so but it doesn't feel warm yet. I don't know. I don't know about the rest of the office, but I think because I have so many windows and I'm in the corner, it's
Well, it's 34 here with flurries for the next hour. So
wow.
It says it's snowing now, but it's kind of hit or miss. It was kind of snow, and now my white is kind of gone because it's kind of not wanting to know what it wants to do. But it's, but I did get to go through like actual snow over the weekend. That was a nice surprise.
Cool. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the pictures. You were with the Jeep Club. You're already in a Jeep Club. Already, making connections. And so, that's kind of before we get into it, but that's one of the things we've been talking about is find your tribe, get with your people. So here's Heather. She's, been in Tennessee. I can't even believe it. A year and a half now. Just got her new Jeep, which was on her 2021 vision board. And now she's joined a Jeep Club and has all these new friends and contacts.
Well, I didn't talk to anybody. It's just
okay. Well, you'll get new friends from it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I've joined a couple different groups, and it's just reminded me of, in Florida, it was always all the motorcycle rides. So this is just up here, it's like Jeep country for sure. So it was just something to do. It's social distancing, I guess. You're all in your own car, and we had a super nice surprise. Like Leo's best friend from Florida happened to be at his cabin in Georgia and surprised us. So that was such a nice surprise to see him, show up. And we had no idea. It's like, well, what if we decided not to go, It's a freeze out. You're supposed to take your top off and it's like 30 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
So Leo's like, yeah, that's not happening. We'll roll down a window. And of course, then I bought like a beanie hat and he took his window down and I put mine down and then he put his back up. He's like, no, it's too cold. But it was really fun. Cades Cove is kind of boring for me, but I've been wanting to go through after a snow because I saw pictures of our other friends that moved up here and it was so beautiful and it did not disappoint. I mean, the only time we got snow the day before was when I was talking to you on the phone and I couldn't even take a picture because by the time we got off the phone, it was already like rain again. So it was nice just to see the waterways and all the trees. It was just like a winter wonderland.
Awesome.
And as crazy as it was last week, it's, I think it's super important to, recharge ourselves. I mean, I know we've talked about it and everything in me was like, but oh my gosh, I have all this work to do. I mean, January is always crazy because you have the end of the year stuff, it's all of, it's just crazy. And I know any marketing person out there understands on a brokerage level, like all the numbers and just everything to get all that information out for your agents. But I'm like equally like, okay, I work 12, 14-hour days. I do need to recharge. It's Leo's weekend off. It's time for us. You have to make that time to recharge. And I'm so glad I didn't cancel, which we almost did because it was cold.
That you're so right though. It's, and sometimes I'm like that. I would have probably canceled because I would have been like, it's too cold, but you really need to take that time for yourself and for your family. So you are recharged so you can be at your best for your family actually, and for your customers and clients for sure. So today we're kind of building on what we've been building on all year last year, is 4 steps to increase your success. So what things can you be doing to help you be more successful? And so we kind of ended the year with the business planning. So hopefully everybody's got their plan in place. They know what they're going to do. We're going to do a recap after the first quarter to see if you need to make any adjustments. I know you and I have both said, like for you, you bought your Jeep and you paid off everything.
Well, the Jeep's been on my vision board for about 3 years, certainly since I moved up here, but I couldn't get it until I paid off all my credit card debt.
Right.
So that was really the focus last year, was paying off all that. That was done in October. So
yeah. And for me too, I've been paying off stuff. I have 2 things left to pay off, not counting my car and my mother's car, but I have 2 things left to pay off. And once I pay those off, then I can buy that purse that I've been wanting, that I think I told you guys.
$1,200. Although I don't know, I'm going to go back in debt now that I look at all these Jeep accessories. It's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. What did I do?
Right. So the first thing in increasing your success, and we've talked about this so much this year, especially with so much Zoom meeting or video that we've been doing, be real. Be yourself and be real. That's what people want to see. I think that's how you make the connection with people. They remember how you make them feel. They're not going to remember. Well, they're going to remember if you make them feel bad, but if you're being real and your genuineness makes somebody feel good, they're going to remember that. And that is definitely like the first key into more success, certainly in 2021.
I think being authentic, there's something true to that. And I would add on to that in this crazy world that we're living in, is to be passionate and positive with that authentic side.
Yeah.
So being real I want to add being passionate and positive.
Well, I think that's perfect. Yeah, I guess so. As you're being real, even
how real you're being.
Don't let that bad part of how you're feeling out. So just, when you mentioned, we talked on the phone the other day, because I was having a bit of a meltdown. And so I called you and I said, I just need 5 minutes to get this off my chest and then I'll be okay. And it didn't even take 5 minutes. Like I ranted and then we went on to talk about other things. So yeah, find that person for you who you can call and unload so that you can be positive when you're being real. There you go.
I think you need that, especially right now.
Yeah.
In just the past year, don't use social for that kind of venting. I would keep your marketing, everything to be authentic. I love like Ramsey's billboard. It was so true to him. And it just really brings out his fun personality. And I absolutely loved that part of it. I think in your marketing on social, being real, authentic.
So tell everybody about his
I wish I could show it. It was just fun, like a billboard, and I'm #1 real estate agent with a little asterisk, according to my mom, asterisk, I only ask my mom. And it was fun, and it really matches his fun personality. So of course, if somebody loves that sign like as much as I did, they'll be drawn to him.
Yeah.
Because of that personality, and you know what you're getting because it's just fun. Right. And I think I see so many agents bringing out that fun side of them. And you just, look at Chris Teal down in Stewart. His videos are just
the funniest videos that he does, I think, is when his wife goes out of town and he does all this stuff. He has little kids, right? I think they're both boys. But
yes.
Yeah. And he'll do ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, they're the best though. They are absolutely the best. And it really, he's passionate, he's positive, and he's true to himself. And I think he's going to, he just attracts people that are going to love to work with him because he's so much fun. And there's so many agents that do that. And that's where, when I see be real, it's not be this fake, only posting listings or in your marketing, being true to yourself and passionate and positive, I think it just attracts your tribe. Your
for sure. Definitely. And then, so the next is associate with the best. That is a big one to me. And that's kind of one of the things that we've always said here at Remax Elite. We've always said eagles soar with eagles. When you surround yourself by other great agents that are hardworking and they're successful and they're getting the job done, it elevates you to the same. And one of our great agents, Ellis Warren.
Morning, Heather.
Good morning. Well, and everybody else that's out there too, Ellis. Because we're live.
Yeah, good morning to TV land.
Good morning, TV land.
But I mean, even Ellis, I mean, she was with a different brokerage before us, and here she is with us, and she's having tremendous success. I mean, she put a deal together. Like, probably this was your biggest deal ever, was the Wawa.
Yeah. Wawa.
Yeah, I mean, she did the Wawa on the corner of 192 and US 1. I mean, so.
Nice.
Yes, that was my biggest deal. And the most complicated.
I'm sure. So
I think surrounding and think about it in a way, find people that are better than you, that inspire yourself. I think when you're around those people, it makes you better as a person as well. I'm even the kids, I'm always saying, like, just surround yourself with people that are better than you. What are you? Your 5 closest associated people are kind of who you become and the attract and all that. I don't know. There's like a book about this, I think, right?
No, I think there's a million, but yes, there's that one that you're talking about, which is just, it's, if you're hanging around with people that are negative or they're bringing you down, and sometimes those people that are negative don't realize that they're negative, So, it's funny. And so you might just need to remove yourself because, telling somebody that they're negative and them not getting it doesn't help you. But if they get it and then they kind of take a look at themselves and say, oh, wait, you're right, I need to be more positive. But I think if you surround yourself by people who are hardworking, who are successful, who are getting it done, it just trickles over, and the positive attitude trickles over to everyone.
We all have the ability to change our narrative.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, that's, everybody says that you're the person who makes your day good, even if something horrible happens, and things do happen in our lives, especially in this day and age, with COVID and etc. You can sit wallow in the negative, or you can boost yourself and be around others that are helping to boost you, which brings us to the next, which is teach what you know. So did
I miss one?
You missed.
I did.
Teach what you know is now, but I could do foster connections now. Let's do that.
Nope, I got it.
Okay. Teach what you know.
I think we do that.
Yeah.
I mean, with our Thursday classes, teaching what we know, and I'm sure there's other ways in real estate.
Well, you can do it. I mean, with your clients, you could do it with your clients as well. We forget that sometimes I do this year. I think I did 31 transactions. So that's 31 times I did it, plus however many people in the office that did transactions. And we seem to forget the buyer or the seller, even if this is their 4th house, their 3rd house could have been 20 years ago, and the process has completely changed. So just make sure you are letting them know how the process works, how the whole loan thing works, how the appraisal works.
And I miss being able to do all the in-house classes, because that's what we always, our agents always taught classes on what they strived at to help all the other agents. So I do miss that. Maybe we could bring that on in a more virtual type setting.
Well, so what we're doing, and I just have to launch the groups, which I'm going to work on today, but I have my test group is starting today. That it will be the BABs, as Kelsey.
Oh, okay. That's what that was.
So they're small mastermind groups that they'll either do Zoom or live, and they'll meet. Some people wanted to meet weekly, some wanted to meet monthly, some wanted to meet bi-weekly. So I'm going to try to group them into 3, 4, or 5 people, and that way they can feed off each other. And I'm trying to make it so that it's not similar styled people, meaning, if I put person A and person B, but I know they kind of run their business the same, are they going to learn and grow? Probably not, because, so I'm trying to mix up the people. And it looks like actually we're going to have 6 groups doing that this year. So I'm really happy about the amount of turnout for that. But I think that's a good way for us to either virtually or in person, and we let them all kind of say what they wanted to do. The group for today, they've all decided we're going to do it virtually. And the reason was they felt like if they could have their computer in front of them and we could be kind of seeing and working on whatever we're working on at that time, that was better than doing it in person and taking notes and then having to go back to my computer.
Well, doing it virtually and via Zoom, it's kind of nice because it does make it easy for others to be able to share their screen and what they're talking about. Whereas that would be a lot harder when you're in person or everybody be going around a different, I think that would be more of a distraction.
Right.
So doing it virtually almost allows us to kind of get more done sometimes.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. So this will be interesting because it's another one of those things, Heather, that's been on my list of things to do for a long time. And
we just have to learn to do things differently and really kind of adapt in the world that we live in. And I think that's been a challenge, but exciting in the same time because we've learned to do things differently.
I screwed up again with the sound, sorry.
The recharge, we would have never, ever thought to do that virtually. And it turned out way better than I could have ever imagined. And I think it'll be something that we continue on if we do it both ways or not. So
yeah, no, I'm really digging the Zoom or the online meeting. For me, it's given me the opportunity to participate in so many more things that I haven't been able to do. And in some cases, though, I find myself disconnected because it is on, and I'm not paying attention. So I need to focus on that and make sure that I am paying attention. I am engaged. But sometimes it's like I had to do continuing education last week, professional standards, and that's just like snooze alert. So it was hard to be engaged while watching that. Although the ladies that put it on did a really good job. So.
Yeah, I do miss, I'm not a hugger. I never thought of myself as a hugger, but I miss being around people.
Being close to people.
Yeah.
I know. It's weird. It's very weird. And so then the next is foster connections. Foster connections. And this can be, because this is what our notes say, help your clients become involved in the community, which I've always, told my people, especially buyers and they're new to town, call me, email me, text me anytime. If you need a good hairdresser, if you need a good restaurant, whatever it is you need. And it's funny, one of my high school friends who doesn't live here anymore, and her brother lived here too, and then there were 3 other siblings that were older that didn't live here. But when they were here for their father's funeral, and they hadn't lived here, now we were 25 years out of high school at that point, or maybe even 30 years out of high school at that point, they called me Kerry Concierge, because they would just, while they were here, text me, where can we get this? Is this still open? So help your clients get involved in the community, whether it's bring them on to something, if they have a Jeep too, invite them to come to the Jeep Club, or if you are involved with, Ellis does a lot of stuff with Eckerd Connects. If you're involved with that and you think that your client would be interested in that, get them involved. But it's really about making those personal connections with your people. And I always say, unless, of course, you didn't really like them.
and I, especially being new up here, my agent didn't do that, but the contractor that had to do work after we closed, who was hired by the listing agent, not even my agent, but they became my concierge. So they know everything about the area. And they said, so we still text, we're going to go, she likes photography as well, has an extra camera. So we're going to go out and play with taking photos, because her husband's probably more like mine. And like, do you have to pull over every 5 minutes to take a picture? But anytime I'm looking for something to be done in the house, a contractor or things to do or this or that, I still know that I can text her. It's been 1.5 years. They actually redid this whole entire office. So I think as an agent, if you can be that person, here I have that relationship with a contractor that was hired by the other agent.
Right.
And that they're the closest people I have. Like they like to kayak and ride bikes and they go camping. So we're going to all do that together. And it just kind of almost becomes a friendship, but it's really just based on she let me know, like, you text me if there's anybody, anything
Right.
that you need.
Anything. Yeah.
And I think that'd be nice for agents to be that concierge for the ongoing. And I always say that with your website, make it a hub, having this information so people don't just use your site to search properties, but they know they can always go there for links and area things to do, all that fun stuff.
Right. And even, there's like, it's funny, Jeannie Hansen had clients years ago, and they're Mark and Jackie, just for the record. But so she's now at this point, I don't even know how many houses they're into, like 4 or 5 since they moved here from upstate New York. But she invited them into her group of friends, and it just kind of spidered out there, and they, she's become a good friend. We all went on vacation together, actually, with Mark and Jackie and Jeannie and her husband years ago. So it's making those connections, keeping the friends close, and helping them to become.
Vegas does a great job of doing that, and a lot of agents, because they have those annual get-togethers, client appreciation parties. I think that's great to help with those connections. I know that's not necessarily what this is, but I think it goes beyond the contractor. But find out what your clients are interested in, the clubs, the groups, different things that they're interested in, and make sure that you find out all this information. And it's so easy if it's not something you're personal about. Even if you ask on social, everybody knows different things and are interested, and help them find that local tribe to make them feel super close with that community and give back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Give back. That's a biggie too. So in that way, if you're fostering the connections, that's you giving back as well. So, be that go-to person. I was thinking about something. Oh, I know another example, which is a little bit different and kind of more far spreading. Kelsey started that Facebook group of restaurants that were delivering.
Yes.
And so she started that Facebook group of restaurants in Brevard that were delivering during COVID. And, that helped her be a helper, No,
and I think that really, and it has evolved as things have changed or whatnot. But I think it's great, because I see a lot of companies putting their specials or this and that. And I've seen a lot of them just really be attracted to that group. And it's fun to watch things. And I know as far as just connecting with just the different tribe, same thing with, Remax groups, or, could go on and on with
right.
what a connection actually means.
Barbara just commented, being real when you're creating those long-term relationships. So Barbara and her mother, Marilyn, for years have done the client appreciation party, and they have a phenomenal turnout. I don't know what they ended up deciding on this year, because they usually do the movie theater, and before that they did an event at the zoo. But here's the thing about that, and just Barbara's dad passed away. Gosh, is it a year and a half now? I can't remember exactly. But when they had the what do you call that? Not the funeral. Well, it's not really the funeral, but it's the celebration of life. Okay. When they had the celebration of life, there were a lot of their clients who are now friends who came to that celebration of life because they became a part. Yeah, see, June of 2019, a year and a half. I can't believe it's that long ago now, but I remember being at it, and we weren't wearing masks, so it had to have been pre-COVID. That's going to be how I remember things now. Was I wearing a mask or wasn't I? But they made so many connections with their clients that, and they also made so many connections within the realtor community. Let me just say that as well. So it's not always just with your clients. The amount of lenders and realtors and title company people that were at the celebration of life for Charlie, it was, and they were real connections that they made with people.
Absolutely.
I think that's important. So
What's
what
our
do you-
weekly activity?
Yep. What are we going to put into place to do these things? What are you going to do differently or do more of? We always say do more of, do less of, what's working, what's not working. All of these things can be working. So what are you going to do to do these things? Be real, associate with the best, teach with what you know, and foster connections. And all of those kind of are intertwined and can be worked on together and at the same time.
Absolutely. And then the words of wisdom this week, I thought this was pretty good. It's don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind, but be led by the dreams in your heart. And that was Roy Bennett. So I liked that for sure.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah. No, I read that. I like that.
Yeah.
And then I guess until next week, it's wake up, kick ass, and repeat. And we have some good shows the rest of the month. So I'm excited.
I know, me too. And Bella saying goodbye.
Bye, Alice.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone.